Hey, what's going on? Welcome to Time's Up Fantasy Sports Talk. I am your host, the one and only Waiver Wire Queen, guys. The Waiver Wire Queen is here to bring you a special episode. But before we get into that episode and I give you all the details, why don't y'all do me a favor and hit that subscribe button? Come on now, subscribe, and follow me for more. I'm gonna give you everything you need to prepare for your 2021 fantasy football season. I know you guys are like, come on, Queen, really? 2021, the season just ended. Can I get a break? No, we don't take breaks in fantasy football, especially if you're in a dynasty league. If you're in a dynasty league, you got to get ready for the upcoming draft to add more pieces to your team because you're trying to build your franchise, your team. So, why wait to the last minute? And even in a redraft league, don't wait until the day of your real draft to do some mock drafts or to look at players you want to scout. Because let's face it, most people in redraft leagues are pretty much, they tend to be in the same redraft leagues, that they normally be in every season. So, why not get ready? But anyways, forget about all that. Let me ask y'all a question. Do you believe in second chances? Do you believe in second chances? Because I do. And we're going to talk about a quarterback that I think should get a second chance. And I don't mean just to be signed or traded to another team. I mean, I believe this quarterback deserves a second chance as a starting quarterback. And I'll give you my reasons why I feel like this quarterback deserves a second chance based on some things that, he may have done right or wrong and the franchise didn't get it right. Okay, so we're going to talk about Carson Wentz, currently on the Philadelphia Eagles. Okay, yes, we're going to talk about Carson Wentz. Do you believe Carson Wentz deserves a second chance? I do. We're going to call him the second chance QB or second chance kid, whatever you want to call him. I do believe he deserves a second chance. Okay, so we know Philly drafted Carson Wentz. He plays in the NFC East. Some of you guys will say NFC least, whatever. I'm not going to say least because my lovely Giants are in the NFC East. But at the end of the day, I understand why everybody calls it the NFC least when you have a playoff team that's under 500. And let's face it, they're either at 500 or under 500. And then you look at other divisions and their teams are they've won 11, 12 games. And in the NFC East, won 7 games or 6 games, or you're, say 8-8 or something like that. Yeah, I get it. I totally get it. But like I said, Carson Wentz deserves a second chance. And let's just talk about the quarterbacks that are excuse me, I can't even talk right today. Let's talk about the quarterbacks that are in the NFC East. Let's just name them. Giants, best team in that place for New York, the Giants. Shout out to all the Buffalo fans, but no. Giants, you have Daniel Jones. Then we have the Cowboys. You got Dak Prescott. And then we're going to say the Washington football team, their quarterback, we're going to say is Alex Smith. And then Philly, we're going to say they're in between Hurts and Wentz. It seems like Wentz is out. And after last night, I don't know what they're trying to do with Hurts, because at the end of the day, even if Peterson felt like, okay, we're not going to win this game, or we are trying to win this game, then I would have assumed your best option would have been to keep Hurts in there. I mean, come on now. Like, all right. Make no sense. But anyways, time's up. Enough with all of that. Let's talk about Carson Wentz. Okay, so I believe he's had 2.5, maybe 3 seasons that were solid, and that's based on just his quarterback rating and his completion percentage and yardage and how the team performed. And he was leading his team to the playoffs. He was having a great season, MVP type season, and then he got hurt. And I just don't believe he's ever been right. I don't. And then also you figure Foles came in there, took the team to the Super Bowl, and there's always been some questions ever since that point. Well, should we stick with Foles, or is Wentz the starting quarterback? Even if Philly came out and said Wentz is our guy, you still had that doubt. And, young quarterback at the time, because he's not so young anymore, you're like, it's probably lack confidence. I mean, come on now. We all have that time where we lack confidence and we don't feel like, I don't know if I can do it or not. And I'm sure he may have felt that. He may have not mentioned that out loud, which obviously who would, but I mean, it is what it is. But anyways, all of this is not his fault. Let's go over some of his stats. Let's go over career stats. So career stats, over 16,000 yards, over 113 touchdowns, interceptions 50. His completion percentage is 62.68, and his quarterback rating is 89.2. Average quarterback rating this season in NFL is about 96%. And completion percentage this season average is about 66%. So let's go over some of let's go to his stats for this year. So he has 16 touchdowns to 15 interceptions. Obviously, that's bad. That's really bad. His rating is 72.8, which, if I'm telling you the average rating is 96, that falls well below average. And he has over 2,600 passing yards. Okay. Ugh. You're like, ooh, that's bad. Real bad. Yeah, that's not great, but at the end of the day, you got to look. The offensive line is bad. Sanders, who I think is a really good young running back, he's been in and out of the lineup. And then at times, to me, they didn't run the ball consistently, but that could have been because the offensive line isn't good. But at the end of the day, you still got to try to run that football. And when they ran the football, that helped. That helped the team out. I'm sorry. They looked like a different team. I know you're like, look, they didn't even win 5 games. I know, but in the games they did win, when they ran the football, they looked better. Now the defense has some issues, of course, but one of the biggest issues is the wide receivers. You have, once Jackson came back, he hasn't been on the field much, but when he has, he's played really well. But he just hasn't been healthy since he's returned. So you got one dynamic wide receiver that's out the window, and then like Jeffries, he's to me an aging wide receiver, and he hasn't performed. He's been injured, so he's been unable to perform and live up to whatever expectations they have. But to me, I say it's time to move on from Jeffries. I think he's played maybe 3 games this year. Don't quote me on that, but he hasn't played much this season. And then they drafted Jalen Reagor. He's showing flashes. However, people are looking at the wide receivers that were drafted after him. Yeah. Justin Jefferson, drafted after. Do you see what he's doing? Yes. Wide receiver on the 49ers. Drafted after. So you got to look at these things, and you're like, okay, well, I know Reagor, he was hurt early in the season. He came on. He looks like there's something there, but to me, the quarterback, Wentz, I'm not saying they set him up for failure, but you really didn't do him any favors and give him much to work with. I know injuries are part of the game, so we can't say the injuries, but we have to look at the fact that who is he really throwing the ball to? Tight ends were hurt most of the season. Ertz is always hurt. At some point during the season, he's going to miss time. I like Dallas Goedert, but unfortunately, he was hurt a bit much this season. But who is he really throwing the ball to? You got Ward, who was converted from a quarterback to a wide receiver. Okay. Still, when you look at quarterbacks that are doing well, they at least have a decent wide receiver core. Their core is good. You look at Aaron Rodgers, but it's just Aaron Rodgers. I mean, come on now. He turned any wide receiver into something great. But you figure, look who he got. He has Devontae Adams. You know, he has a number one. You know, he can rely on him. He knows that he's gonna get that ball. Who else? Hell, Kirk Cousins is playing better than Carson Wentz, but he has some wide receivers to throw the ball to. Who else? There's so many teams with solid wide receivers. You have to provide your quarterback with weapons. It's kind of like with the Jets. What would they expect with Darnold? There's nothing there. What do you expect? He's not going to perform well. But with Wentz, when you look at the years that they were solid, the offensive line was solid, which this year, no, unfortunately, it's not. And he had 2 seasons where his QBR, I mean his quarterback rating was over 100, which is excellent. So you have 2 seasons of that, and his lowest rating. I mean, his rookie year, he was at 79. You know, he's been sacked for his career over 179 times, about 50 this season. That's a lot, you know, and I don't care who you are. After a while, it's gonna be in your head. But when you look at some of the things that he's done when they've had solid players around him, there is a lot of potential there. There's potential for Mr. Carson Wentz to get that second chance. And that's what I'm saying. He deserves a second chance to start. There are a few teams that I feel like they should holla at Philly and take a chance on Carson Wentz. Washington, I know y'all like, come on now, they got Alex Smith. I still feel like they need to identify their quarterback. They got rid of Haskins. Okay. Carson Wentz. San Francisco, they need a quarterback. I'm not high on Jimmy G. I've never been high on Jimmy G. In fact, the backups to me have performed better than him. So, San Fran, holla at Philly. Who else? I know you're going to say why the Colts? Well, the Colts. Holla at Philly and see if you can get Carson Wentz. Rivers is he's up there in age. He may not return back next season, so you don't want to be in a position to where Rivers he retires, or you don't have anybody that you feel confident as your starting quarterback. So holla at him, Philly. Come on, holla at Philly. Denver. I know you're gonna say, come on now, Denver. Drew Lock is not a starting quarterback in the NFL, in my opinion. He hasn't looked good when he's been in the lineup, and most teams would have pulled him out of that lineup. And even though he was hurt enough this early on in the season, he didn't look good when he was in there, and he just doesn't look good. I would take a chance on Carson Wentz. They have some weapons there. They have wide receivers. They have running backs. The offensive line is better than Philly's offensive line, and they have some younger pieces on defense. So he can slide in there. You can see what he can do. I know y'all gonna roll your eyes at me on this one, but I don't care. Waiver Wire Queen is here to tell you like it is. Chicago. If you watched my last video, I said, and I'm standing by it, Mitch, to me, is not the franchise quarterback of the Chicago Bears. And if you have the chance as the Chicago Bears to snatch up Carson Wentz, I would do it. I mean, they have the defense. The defense is still solid. It was better a year ago, but it was better the last 2 years, but still really solid. They have some wide receivers over there. They have tight end. They have a young tight end, and then they got Graham. And I like their running backs. Obviously, we know Montgomery is doing the damn thing. And then when Cohen returns from injury, that's another option. And the offensive line is solid. It's better than Philly. So these teams are the teams that I feel like they should pick up the phone and holla and just see what it's going to take to get Carson Wentz. Like I said, give him he deserves a second chance, and I've given you guys enough reasons why. He's not going to start in Philly next season. I'm sorry, guys. It's just not going to happen. I think that relationship is fractured, and it is not going to be able to be repaired. It just can't. It's not, because the blame is being pushed more on Wentz, where some of that blame needs to go on the coach and the GM, because you guys did not provide weapons. But it goes to show you that a few years ago, Philly, Super Bowl, champs, and then look where they are now. It can happen overnight, just in one season. That's why they say it's hard for a team to get back to the Super Bowl. Hell, it is. Look at Philly. They're in no position to compete. And even if they, with Hurts, if you bring Hurts in here, you don't have the talent around him, so he's going to be set up for failure. Or any other quarterback that comes in here. They don't have the talent. They need to add pieces. And you don't have them. But back to my Carson Wentz theory. Second chances, yes. The two teams, I'm out of those five, I think should really pick up that phone. Chicago, San Fran, they have the pieces there, and they can get out of that Jimmy G thing. Just let it go. Let it go. The time is up for Jimmy G and San Fran. They have the defense, they have the running backs, they have the wide receivers. They got the tight end, Kittles, come on now, and they have a solid offensive line. So, and then you got a really good young coach who can help Carson Wentz and build that confidence back up, maybe work on the mechanics a bit, and get him back to that MVP type season. Okay, it's not impossible. So, what do you guys think? Let me know what y'all think. Should Carson Wentz get a second chance? Should we call him the second chance QB and we give him that opportunity? Hell yeah. If I was the Giants, I would be interested, but no, he needs to be out of the NFC East. And that's that. So y'all let me know what y'all think on this Carson Wentz question. My question to you guys is, do you believe in second chances, and do you think Carson Wentz deserves a second chance as a starting quarterback in the NFL? Not a bad backup, starting quarterback in the NFL. All right, y'all. That's it. What y'all need to do is hit that subscribe button and follow the Waiver Wire Queen, because we got more coming. And y'all have a great evening. Peace.